I'm making a cylinder that's going to have a lid. So I've thrown the shape, but I've left the rim somewhat thick because I'm going to split this rim to create a ledge for the lid to sit on. So I'm going to use my rib for this, and my rib's a little bit damaged from having been worked with quite a bit. But I'm going to take a right angle either here or this edge here, and I'm going to push it down into that edge. I want to make sure that my rim is centered and that I'm nice and well braced. So I'm going to use both hands, and I'm going to lean myself right over the rim here. If your rim isn't centered, this is going to be a lot harder to do. And you've got to leave yourself some thickness there, both relatively good amount of thickness throughout the wall so that your wall doesn't collapse, but also plenty of thickness within the rim so that your rim doesn't end up falling down. Now I've got a pretty good split going there, but I'm going to need to get in and clean up that inside edge. I can use a damp sponge or a damp chamois for that. I'm going to get in there and just clean that up so it's not rough. You can also do some shaping. I left some thickness right under the rim for stability, and I can get in there and do some shaping in that. I can adjust the shape both of the rim and the edge here, the interior edge, which I can compress a little bit more, and the edge of the pot itself. And I'm going to get in there and try to round it out a little bit more to get a shape I'm a little bit happier with, hopefully. Now you don't want to continue that pull too much into the rim area itself, but you can do some shaping up there. And what I'm thinking might help this piece is if I get a little bit of definition there where that rim begins and where the rest of the pot leaves off. You can also remember to use your ribs and knives and all those sorts of tools are useful for shaping and can allow you to give some definition between the different forms there. Still not entirely happy with this. One of the things you sometimes do is you step away from a piece and get a different angle on it. You see it a little bit differently. I think that's going to have to do. The other thing is when you're working on a particular shape, particularly if you've got a particular shape in mind, you expect to do it several times. If you start and you're like, I don't know, I'll just have a rim, it's sometimes harder to have control over your shape. Now I'm trying to make sure that that inside edge isn't falling. I want it to be even and straight. And then I'm going to measure for my lid. So I've got a calipers here, and the calipers has these two ends. I'm going to use the inside end of the caliper to measure, and I should measure it before I take it off the wheel, so that if it gets bumped at all, I'm going to be making a lid that's round, and I want to have a measurement from the round. If it gets off round, I don't want to end up measuring the off round piece. This piece here I can set aside, but I should be doing my lid right away, right after I work on this piece.